Hey guys, you're live with Christy and Steve in the background. Hello Linda, hello Christy. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we're sick. Colleen is crabby and my husband is crabby, but we're hanging in here. We've got really bad weather coming. It's coming in tonight, and then tomorrow the wind chill's supposed to be, 15, 25 below zero. And we're not equipped for that here. Like in the South, we don't have the equipment or anything necessary to deal with ice and snow. Snow wouldn't be bad because we probably wouldn't get much, but ice, yeah, we don't want any part of that. They are already talking about power outages and stuff, so not looking forward to that. So today we're going to be talking about this case. It's starting to get some news coverage. I haven't seen it covered a lot on YouTube. Running Buck, one of my subscribers, actually messaged me about covering it, and it's a really sad case. This is about 11-year-old Madalina Cojocari. She's from North Carolina, and she went missing and wasn't reported missing by her parents until about 3 weeks after the fact. So it already doesn't sound good. And it bothers me that in this day and age that this can happen. It reminds me of like the Lori Vallow kids, Harmony Montgomery, Oakley Carlson, even little Kaylee Anthony back in the day, that these kids go missing and it's virtually unnoticed. I know I've talked to quite a few locals from the area, and the family pretty much kept to themselves, and she was a quiet girl, but she did attend school, like in person. She did go to a school, and I guess they inquired, because I know when my kids weren't in school, I got a call. If I happened to forget to call or didn't call by a certain time, they'd call me and be like, hey, whichever of my kids isn't in school today. And we would have to explain why. And I guess they reached out to Madalina's parents, and I don't know if they were making excuses. She went missing right around the Thanksgiving break, and then she just didn't return after break. And I don't know what kind of excuses they were giving the school, but it got to the point that a resource officer and a counselor from the school went to her home. I believe it was December 14th, and they tried to knock on the door, ring the doorbell, whatever. They didn't get an answer, and they left a truancy packet there. And the next day, Madalina's mom said she would come to the school with Madalina. Well, she went to the school, but she did not have Madalina with her, and ends up telling them that she's been missing this whole time. And the school resource officer calls in help from the local detectives, and it kind of goes from there. So that's what we're here to talk about today, is this little girl still hasn't been found. Her parents have been arrested. I'm going to talk about their court appearances, where they're searching, and what we can try to do to help. So, like I said, her name is Madalina Cojocari. She was last seen November 23rd, 2022 in Cornellius, North Carolina. She's 11 years old. She has brown hair, brown eyes. She's 4'10" and weighs about 90 pounds. Last seen at her home, there's the dogs, in Cornellius, North Carolina, on the evening of November 23rd, 2022. She was last seen wearing jeans, pink, purple, and white Adidas tennis shoes, and a white t-shirt and jacket. She was reported missing to her school's resource officer on December 15th, 2022. And if you have any information, you can call that in to the Cornellius Police Department at 704-892-7773, or you can call 911. The FBI also has a poster out, and you can contact your nearest FBI field office or American Embassy or consulate, and you can also send online tips to tips.fbi.gov. So the latest from the Cornellius Police Department, they're working along with the FBI and the State Bureau of Investigation. They're developing and following many leads, and they took their search beyond the area around the home to include a lake, which we never like to hear that, but their lake patrols and partners at the Cornellius Fire Department searched Lake Cornelius, which, from what I understand, and we're going to look at it later, and hi, Okie Crime News, Merry Christmas to you. From the locals, Lake Norman is massive. I think one of the locals told me it encompasses about 6 counties, and the area that they were looking at was called Lake Cornelius, which is actually just like a small cove, a little part of Lake Norman. So they stated that this is just part of the norm as far as like their investigative process. And like I said, sorry, I'm sick. Sorry, guys. They're expanding their search area outside of the home where Madalina was last seen, and that now includes the lake. They're conducting additional land and water searches as a precautionary measure. So after they reported her missing to the school resource officer that weekend, the Cornellius police arrested Madalina's 60-year-old stepfather, Christopher, I'm going to mispronounce this, so don't come at me, Palmater, and her 37-year-old mother, Diana Cojocari, for failing to report the disappearance of their 11-year-old daughter. They're being held at the Mecklenburg County Detention Center. So we're going to go into a little bit about the parents because it's kind of interesting to look into their background and just see what we can figure out. I'm not going to completely deep dive on them, but let's see. This is the stepdad. Like I said, he's 60 years old. This is his mugshot. And he originates from Michigan, but he has been in the North Carolina area for quite a while. He works as a mechanical designer at Ingersoll Rand and has about 20 years of experience with that. They make air compressors and power tools. It's a global company. He also has kind of like a side business. He does engraving or something. Hi, pie in the sky. But like I said, he's been in North Carolina for quite some time and originated from Michigan. So he was arrested, and a lot of people are saying he was arrested a day before the mom. From what I can tell, they were arrested on the same day, just at different times of the day. So let's look at his arrest sheet. So his arrest sheet says on Thursday, December 15th, 2022, at approximately 13:12 hours, officers responded to Bailey Middle School, located at 11900 Bailey Road in Cornellius. The complainant, Diana Cojocari, who resides at 18413 Victoria Bay Drive in Cornelius, reported her juvenile daughter, Madalina Cojocari, has been missing since approximately 1200 hours on Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. On Monday, December 12th, 2022, at approximately 1400 hours, Bailey Middle School Resource Officer Jay Nobles attempted a home visit with 6th grade school counselor Mrs. D. Lampkin in reference to Madalina Cojocari. Mrs. Lampkin stated Madalina Cojocari has not been to school since Monday, November 21st, 2022. There was no answer at the door, and a truancy packet was left by Mrs. Lampkin. On Wednesday, December 14th, Mrs. Lampkin advised Madalina Cojocari's mother, Diana Cojocari, called her requesting a meeting in reference to Madalina. Mrs. Lampkin advised Diana Cojocari stated she would bring Madalina to school on Thursday and meet with Mrs. Lampkin in reference to the truancy. On Thursday, December 15th, 2022, Diana Cojocari arrived at the school without Madalina and met with Mrs. Lampkin. Mrs. Lampkin requested Officer Nobles step into the meeting. When Officer Nobles arrived, Mrs. Lampkin and Diana advised me that Madalina has been missing since Tuesday, November 23rd, 2022 at approximately 1200 hours. Officer Nobles spoke to Diana Cojocari, who advised she last saw Madalina on Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022 at 2200 hours. She stated that Madalina went into her room that night to go to bed. Diana stated her and her husband, Christopher Palmiter, argued that night, and the next morning he drove to his family's house in Michigan to recover some items. Diana Cojocari stated she went in to check on Madalina around 11:30 hours on the 24th and noticed Madalina was not in her room. Diana Cojocari stated she waited until Saturday, November 26th at 1900 hours when Christopher Palmiter returned home before asking if he knew where Madalina was. Christopher stated he did not and asked the same question in return. I asked Diana why she did not report Madalina missing until now. Diana stated she was worried it might start a conflict between her and Christopher. Officer Nobles requested she contact Christopher and have him come to the school. Officer Nobles then contacted Detective G. Patterson and Detective B. Nichols for assistance. On Thursday, December 15th, 2022, Chris Palmiter stated that on 11/23/2022, he left his residence to make a trip to Michigan to pick up items. He advised that he did not see Madalina the day he left and believed the last time he saw her was a week before his trip. He stated that he returned to his residence on 11/26/2022 and asked his wife Diana where Madalina was, and Diana said that she did not know. Chris told Diana that he did not know where Madalina was either. Chris stated that he asked Diana if she had hidden Madalina, and Diana asked Chris if he had hidden Madalina, and they both said no. Chris did not report her missing to the police at that time. Chris stated he spoke with Diana several times about Madalina's whereabouts over the next 3 weeks, and both stated that they did not know where she was, but they did not contact the police to report Madalina missing. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there, right? Hello, Running Buck, this one is for you. And hello, Lighting the Way Home for the Vanished. So, the dad leaves to go to Michigan to pick up whatever. The mom goes in and she realizes Madalina's not there. Now, if it was me, I would be on the phone with my husband immediately. But No, she waits until he comes back a few days later, and then she asks him if he knows where she is. How would he know? For starters. And then his response is, no, do you know where she is? Okay, if Diana knew, why would she be asking Christopher? So then they accuse each other of hiding her, and they both say, no, I didn't hide her. And he tells the police he hasn't even seen her for a week before she went missing. You live in the same house. How did you not see her for a week? None of this adds up. None of this adds up. So that's why he got arrested. So they realize she's not there. Neither one of them knows where she is. And they decide, no, we probably don't need to call police. It doesn't add up. So this was him. He appeared via WebEx, and this was him at his court appearance. Let's see. Sorry, my notes are not as organized as I would like because, like I said, I'm sick and my daughter and my husband are sick. The Rona and the flu have hit our house hard. So he appeared in court and was assigned a public defender and issued a $200,000 secured bond, which was increased. Originally, his bond was $100,000, but they said due to the severity of the situation and the charge, they were going to increase it to $200,000. His next court date is set for December 28th, and then we will get into Mom. So, Mom, this is Madalina Cojocari. Like I said, she's 37, and she is a immigrant from Moldova. So, from what I can tell, she was a research analyst in Moldova until December of 2015. And now she's an independent beauty consultant for Mary Kay in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And she's been doing that since 2016. Hi, Steph. So, I'm not sure how these two got together. There's obviously a big age difference, which, whatever. But it seems like it was one of those. Do y'all watch 90 Day Fiance at all? There's these websites, and I don't want to say like mail order bride, but you can specifically go on there to meet women from foreign countries. And if you, hey, Ramblin' Rome, yes, Boomer Sooner. You can go on there and meet these women and develop a relationship with them. And there's always at least one person on 90 Day Fiance that it looks like, wow, he's batting out of his league, if you know what I mean. Like this beautiful foreign woman and this guy that you wonder like, I wonder why he hasn't got a girlfriend over here kind of thing. And yes, that sounds so judgmental, but I'm sick and I'm going to be snarky and judgy today. Hello, Silver Witch. So I don't know how these two became a couple, but Madalina would have been born in Moldova, and a lot of people are asking about the dad because there's not a lot out there about her biological dad, and I assume he is still in Moldova, but I don't know anything specific about him. But she's here. She married Christopher. She married Christopher, and they have been together. I don't think Christopher has officially adopted Madalina because she still has the same last name, Cojocari. I assume that's probably her birth father's name. But Diana and Christopher are married. I don't know why she didn't take his name, but it is what it is. So, like I said, there's a little bit there. I don't know if her having a child bothered him in any way, if he was looking for a wife and she happened to have a child, maybe that was okay with him. But yes, Ramblin' Rome. I can't think of his Andre. Is it Andre? I think that's his name. But yeah, there is a guy on there from Moldova. But I'm just not clear on the relationship, I guess. I don't know what type of marriage they had. It sounds, she was a research analyst in Moldova, and now she's selling Mary Kay. Like I said, they kept to themselves, so there's not much information out there about them. I know someone came out and said that they had met her and her daughter. Apparently, there is a pretty large Moldovan community nearby, and it's not clear if she had a lot of friends. She had met this woman that spoke out, and she was also from Moldova, and they exchanged phone numbers and had planned on getting together, them and their kids, because she had a daughter as well who I believe was around the same age as Madalina, but they never ended up getting together. And this lady is feeling really bad because she's like, I wish I would have known something was going on. I could have helped, kind of thing. And that's natural, but honestly, there was probably nothing she could have done. So I don't know if Diana came here. A lot of times people come here and they're hoping for a better life for themselves, their kids, whatever. And it seems like Christopher has done pretty well for himself, and probably offered her, that security that she was looking for, and she thought she could better her life here for her and her daughter. Now, this is all speculation. I don't know if maybe he was controlling, maybe, there was something going on in this relationship that we don't know about yet, but there's a lot that makes you think it wasn't good. I don't know. Like I said, we'll get into all that more. But this is her mugshot, and before I get into that, I did want to mention one thing that I found that was interesting. It's kind of just a little side note about Mom. So apparently, when she got pregnant with Madalina, she weighed about 119 pounds and 54 kilograms, it said. And she had put on weight. She went up to 87 kilograms, which is about 191 pounds. And in 2014, she appeared as a contestant on a Moldovan online magazine weight loss show. And this was right prior to her coming to the United States. And she stated on the show that she was wanting to, improve like her appearance and everything, because she was wanting to find someone, that she was looking, to get married, I assume. But the interesting thing was it showed video of her and little Madalina at the time, and Madalina was, you could tell she was very well taken care of. She was well dressed, and they were playing, and they had this really great relationship. Silver Witch, I've been thinking that too. Did maybe he pick Diana because she had a child? I don't know. It's definitely an angle to look at. Ramblin' Rome, I wondered about that, if somehow she maybe got her back to Moldova. But when you think about it, if Madalina was in Moldova, if I was Diana, I would just tell the police, like, hey, this is what was going on, and I sent her back to Moldova, and then you could prove, like, with an airplane ticket, or they could contact somebody in the family and verify that Madalina's there and she's okay and things like that. But I had thought about that. I had wondered if maybe she was with Diana's family or the birth father's family or something like that, but there's no indication of that right now. Yeah, running, but there is something on her forehead. I don't know. A lot of people have said, like you, rug burns, some kind of scratch, maybe something like an old bruise that's healing or something. So I don't know. And I don't want to jump in and be like, this is a DV situation and this guy was abusing them, because I don't know. But there are signs there that maybe something like that was happening in that home. But it's too early to really say. So let's look at her arrest sheet, which it's pretty similar to Christopher's, but there's a few extra things. Yes, Ramblin' Rome, exactly. Like, it feels like, now she could have been scared of him because she said she didn't want to start conflict. But then the other side of that coin is she saying that to kind of like build her defense? You know what I mean? Like, to cover if she did something or she was involved somehow. Is this her building up to point blame at him? Because it kind of feels like at this point they're both going to point the finger at the other one, if you know what I mean. You know, and there's been a lot of speculation, if and when he gets himself out of jail, will he get her out? So it's an interesting dynamic. But okay, let's take a look at this. So this one, it starts off the same way, you know, about the people going over there, no answer at the door, going to the school and all of this, noticing that she was missing. And down here is where it changes and it gets interesting. So remember, this is Diana's arrest sheet. It says, Detective Patterson questioned Miss Madalina Cojocari regarding her missing daughter. She explained that she believed her husband put her family in danger, but did not know what happened to Madalina. She stated she contacted her family in Moldova, who advised she contact the police, and still she hesitated to call. That's interesting. Diana stated Madalina did not have a phone. Madalina's backpack and some clothes were missing from the residence. Diana stated Madalina did not have any friends she would stay with, and they have no family around due to Diana being from Moldova. Detective Nichols and I went to 18413 Victoria Bay Drive in Cornelius to search Madalina's room. Miss Cojocari and Mr. Palmater were adamant that they did not know where Madalina could be. While in the residence, I noticed an area blocked with plywood in the kitchen. Detective Nichols asked about the area, and Mr. Palmater stated that they had planned to make a separate apartment. Due to the circumstances surrounding the absence of Madalina Cojocari and the 3-week delay reporting Madalina missing, I believe there is probable cause for an arrest. So that's interesting. So on when she feels like her husband put them in danger, I'd like to explore that more. And she called her family in Moldova, who advised her to call the police, and she still hesitated. Now, my true crime brain, I feel like if he did something or she suspected that he did something, She didn't want to call because she did not want to incur his wrath. She didn't want to get him mad. Like she said, she didn't want to cause a conflict. And maybe she felt she could be next, like she's in danger as well. And then the plywood in the kitchen, they were going to make a separate apartment. For who? Like, was somebody going to be moving in? Was this for Diana? Like, what is that all about? It's just, there's a lot of odd things. And yeah, Ramblin' Rome, chance she ran away. I thought about that too, but if she did, where the heck did she go? Where is she? Because, like I said, it's not getting a ton of coverage. It has finally made national news, but locally, it's known. Like, people would be looking for her, and where could she be? I mean, I guess if she was running away, she could have run into the wrong person, and still be gone. But this whole thing with the parents, something doesn't add up. You don't not report your child missing unless there's something weird going on. I mean, when my kids were little, if we were at the store and I lost sight of them for a second, like they were on my right side and I looked over there and they weren't there, they were on my left side, for that 5 seconds, like my heart stopped and I'm ready to sound the alarm. Like, if your child's missing and you don't know where they are, if they're okay, you panic. There's not a lot more frightening in this world than not knowing where your children are. So how they could go that long without reporting it is beyond me. And that's where I get stuck, feeling like they have to be involved somehow, because why else wouldn't you report it? It doesn't make sense. There's no reason to hide your child's disappearance. It doesn't add up to me. But maybe we're wrong. Hopefully we're wrong. Maybe she is out there somewhere okay. So this was her. This is the mom. She went to court yesterday, and it was pretty interesting because they increased her bond as well, and her next bond hearing is December 28th, the same day as his, and she was scheduled for a January 9th probable cause hearing. She was given a public defender, and they said that she had hindered the investigation, and when she did report her daughter missing, she did it begrudgingly. Like, the prosecutor really didn't paint a good picture of this woman. So they increased her bond to $250,000 secured bond, which is $50,000 more than the stepdad. And they added on that they wanted electronic monitoring for her. Now, they didn't for him, and I don't know if it's because she's from Moldova, but they could have had her hand over her passport or whatever, but they didn't do that. But they did require electronic monitoring for her if she happens to make bond. So I thought that was kind of interesting that hers was higher and they added the electronic monitoring. It may not mean anything, but I just found it interesting. So this is where they live. It's a really nice house. It's a really nice house. And it's in a nice neighborhood. The locals in the area, they've been sending me videos and pictures of helicopters flying over searching for her, and pictures of people searching for her, and videos of the police presence in the neighborhood. And they had this amazing candlelight vigil in her neighborhood last night, and it was just beautiful to see how many people came out for this little girl. This community is really rallying behind finding her, and a lot of people have been saying that they feel like as a community, they need to be the voice for Madalina since her own parents weren't. And that breaks my heart. But that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now. We're being her voice because they weren't. So let me go through my notes again here. Like I said, I have a lot, and it's not super organized. I just was kind of jotting things down, and I normally go back and organize, but it's been so crazy around here. You guys know we had the death in our family, and that funeral was Friday, and then everybody being sick, and the holidays coming so fast. Like, are you guys ready for the holidays? Because I'm not quite there yet. Like, I've got gingerbread houses to build and baking to do and just all the things. So, you know, it's all just catching up with me. Okay, so on November 22nd, she attended her classes at Bailey Middle School, and the evening of the 23rd is when she allegedly went missing from her home. Let's see. So a lot of people from the local area have been talking to me about this neighborhood, this area, and the access that they have to the water. So this is kind of a overview. The red pin is where their house would be, and then you can see the massive Lake Norman right there. But there apparently is also water right near the, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Ingersoll Rand, where Christopher works. And somebody had mentioned that if you went through their backyard, you have pretty easy access to a car wash nearby, and that they could have, you know, snuck things out through there. Now, I don't know, maybe there's camera footage there, but I'm not sure. But on Sunday, the investigators were there taking pictures outside of the home. They collected evidence from inside the home, and they towed a car from the garage, and they brought in a canine unit. They were digging up the yard. Now, they have not commented if they found anything, but they were digging up the yard. And let's see here. I got a little bit closer image. So this is the neighborhood, and you can see it's a pretty large neighborhood. It's, you know, houses relatively close together. Their house kind of does sit off. There's 3 of them there kind of close together, but as a whole, it's a very large subdivision. And from what I understand, there's like an HOA and things like that. And I assume people have surveillance cameras, which I'm sure all of that footage has been collected. But they do have a garage, so if they were trying to get her out or remove evidence, you know, they could have simply taken it from in the house into the car in the garage and drove away, and nobody's going to notice that. But I assume they're looking at it to see if there's any evidence of Madalina leaving the house after the last time we know that she was seen. Some facts about Lake Norman, because like I said, it is massive. It's the largest man-made body of fresh water in North Carolina. It's 49.81 square miles, which is crazy. And there's 520 miles of shore. So massive. And you think about, well, it's been almost a month now. Today is what, the 21st? And she went missing allegedly the 23rd. So you might as well say a month. And it is, the inflow source is a river. So it's a big undertaking, especially like if they took her out like in a boat or something. Now, this was interesting, and I asked the locals about it, and per the HOA, you're technically not supposed to be burning. And in a nice place like that, in general, if you have something to get rid of, you're going to have somebody probably come and haul it off. Well, this post is about a couch, and apparently there was something burning in their backyard, not like burning like massive fire, but kind of a low burn, like smoldering for about 3 days in the backyard. And so this person says that they were the only 3 in the house, and supposedly the house had a fire burning for a few days in the backyard prior to reporting her missing, a couch to be exact. And another person said, "Where did you see this?" And they said, "I have a friend in the neighborhood." Okay, that's horrible. So if you look in their backyard, they have this kind of fire pit looking area, and I kind of zoomed in on it. I don't know if it's big enough for a couch. Maybe if you broke the couch up, I don't know. But obviously we know in true crime world that you cannot incinerate a body. You can't generate that kind of heat from a normal fire. But were they disposing of some other type of evidence? I don't know, but I don't like the sound of it. So I would be interested to know if anything came from that. You guys are talking about Mooresville, North Carolina. Earnhardt. Raise hell, praise Dale. All right, and then I thought this was weird. Maybe you don't. But on December 9th, Diana Cojocari changed her profile picture on social media to this. And it's a picture of her and Madalina. And I don't think the picture was taken on that day, obviously. But it's kind of weird to me that, 6 days before they reported her missing, she just suddenly decides to change her profile picture to this. And there's not a lot on either of their social medias about Madalina. But she just all of a sudden decided, this is what I need to make my profile picture to. There's no mention of not seeing her, like, hey, is anybody seeing her? Or anything like that. But she changes it to this, like, everything's fine. To me, it was weird. I don't know. What do you guys think? Left undone, yes. That's why I'm covering it, because it was brought to my attention by one of my subscribers, Running Buck, and I hadn't heard of it. And as soon as I read about it, I was like, damn, this has to be covered. This needs more awareness. It's sad that it isn't being covered more. I know the Idaho 4 is the big thing, and I'm covering it. I'm still covering it. But thank you, Left Undone. We can't ignore these other cases that deserve attention as well. And in this case, we're talking about an 11-year-old girl whose parents didn't even care enough to report her missing. And that bothers me. And it should bother you. It should bother everybody. And it should be out there more. There should be more attention on this case and all of the cases like this. And it bothers me that there's not. The updates are few and far between, but I am following it. I am constantly looking for any update, especially if one of them happens to get out. I think there shouldn't have been any bond, but I guess they really don't have enough to hold them without bond right now. But yeah, there's something shady in this case. There's something that's not adding up. And the FBI even So people, they want to get out there and they want to help. We all want to help, right? And the FBI posted this, and it says, "We know how much you want to help find Madalina right now. The best way our community can assist is to flood the area with her precious face. Print the FBI missing poster and hang it outside your home, in the window of every business, or share our official social media posts." And we can all do that. We can all share her story, her face, her poster, and that's what we need to do. We need more people to get invested in this precious little girl. I mean, her face, in my opinion, should be plastered everywhere. Every time I get on my social media, I should be seeing her, and I'm not. And it makes me sad. So on my social media, I have shared it, and I will share it again in case you want to share it. You can follow me on, I've got a Facebook page, a personal page, a This Country Girl's Life page. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. You can follow me in any of those places and get her poster and share it. Or just put her story out there in your own words. Share my video. Just whatever you need to do, but get her story out there. I don't care if you share my video. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, share it. But if you don't want to share my video, just share her story. Please, talk about this little girl and how wrong this is, that something's not right here. And I don't want this to go like Harmony Montgomery or Kaylee Anthony, where people aren't held accountable, or this goes for years. I mean, thank God, in Harmony Montgomery's case, it was years before we even knew she was missing. Here, it's been almost a month, which that's bad enough. But maybe there's potential to figure this out, find out what happened, where she is, what went wrong. But it doesn't sound like, a lot of people were pointing the finger at the school. The school did what they were supposed to do. They called, they inquired, they went in person to the house, and I feel like the school did their job. I really do. I don't want to point fingers that the school did not do their job. The parents didn't do their job. This is the last video that we have. This is Madalina getting off the bus for the last time. This is the last video we have of this little girl. There she is. I mean, just look at her. She's just a precious, normal 6th grade girl. Should have been going home to celebrate Thanksgiving. Should be looking forward to opening Christmas presents. But no, she's vanished. And oddly enough, his family, Christopher's family, all of a sudden has started posting about this. Now, her family in Moldova, from what I've seen, they haven't really posted about it. But his family started posting about it, and they're saying that she could be anywhere between Michigan and North Carolina. Now, do you find that as odd as I do? Because supposedly he hadn't seen her for a week before she went missing. And then he went to Michigan, and when he came home, she was gone. His own family is like, she could be anywhere between Michigan and North Carolina. I found that kind of odd. They're asking for prayers. I get that. Wanting to find her. I get that. It's the Michigan to North Carolina thing that kind of threw me for a loop. It almost makes you feel like they're saying he could have had her with him because he's the one that traveled from North Carolina to Michigan. So I just found it kind of interesting, and I thought I would drop that little nugget for you guys to ponder on. I'm going to go ahead and put her... Actually, let's look at just look at this girl. I mean, it breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. These cases about kids are tough. They are so tough. I have this poster that was made by True Crime Replay, and I have the FBI poster, and I will be posting them both. And if you could use hashtag Find Madalina, that would be great, because then people that are looking for information will be able to find it easier. So everybody pray for this little girl. I mean, I'm not going to say pray for her parents, because I really feel like they know something. They were involved, or they would have reported it. Pray for the investigators and the searchers that maybe they will come across something that will bring resolution to this. It doesn't look good, but you know me, I want to stay hopeful that maybe she is out there somewhere and she's okay. I mean, all we have is hope until we know something more, right? So thank you guys so much for being here. It's been almost an hour. But thanks for hanging out with me. I'm sorry I'm not at my best, but like I said, COVID and the flu have hit, and everybody's kind of under the weather right now. But I wanted to get this out to you because I feel like it's important. Like I said, I will stay on top of this. I'm constantly looking for any updates. And if you guys happen to see an update that maybe I've missed, go ahead and email it to me. My email is in the description box. The phone numbers to call with information are in the description box. If you know anybody from the area in North Carolina that maybe hasn't heard about this case yet, please share this with them so they're aware and they can get the information out in the local area. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys listening to this. I know it's not a big popular case, and I'm afraid people are going to be like, I'm not going to watch that video. I don't even know who she's talking about. And we need to get it out there. We need to get it to the point that people know who I'm talking about. So we will keep covering this until there's a resolution. And thank you again, Running Buck, for bringing it to my attention. And anytime there's a case like this that you want me to cover that's not getting the attention it needs, go ahead and send it to me and I will definitely look into it. Please like the video, give it a thumbs up, because that helps boost it in the algorithm and it'll push it out there for more people to be able to watch it. So definitely remember to hit the thumbs up before you leave. Like I said, share it if you want to, but if you don't want to share my video, at least share the poster and her story. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do it. It's free. Just subscribe, click the bell to all. You'll know every time I go live or upload a new video. Like I said, it's a free way to help the channel. Subscribes and likes, they're free and they help. So anything like that would be appreciated. Tell your friends about my channel and have them come over and watch this video. We need to keep it out there. I guess that's really it. Like I said, if there is an update, I will definitely bring it to you, because we need to keep her name out there. We can't let this one just fall to the side and get pushed to the side because some bigger case comes along, because this is a big one. This is a big one, in my opinion. So help me keep it out there. Everybody have a great day. Like I said, we've got super bad cold weather coming. If you have it coming to your part of the world, stay safe, stay warm, and as always, I will see you all in the next one. Take care.